Hey everybody. Are we sitting comfortably to squirm your body? And I'll begin. So nice to see you on this brilliant Saturday afternoon here in the West Village in New York. Carolyn and I were out at the Green Market earlier, getting our weekly provisions. In Abingdon Square, they have this fantastic market every Saturday afternoon. And it's always a good place to run into old friends and see your neighbors. And Rosita, our little dog, absolutely loves this. Constitutional, as Caroline would put it. And anyway, I'm back temporarily here at Chez Lucas. I had a wonderful tour in Romania beginning about 2.5 weeks ago in Transylvania, of all places, a place called Brasov, where I'd never played before, at their annual Dracula Festival, playing with the legendary Spanish Dracula. I've done a score to accompany this great film. For quite a few years. I guess I first premiered it at the Havana Film Festival in 2009, and I still love working with this film. I always see something new every time I play with it. So that was a lot of fun, and then I went to visit Holland for 2 shows, and that has always been a thrill and a pleasure to play in this beautiful country, going back to my days with Captain Beefheart, which would be 1980, was the first time I remember touring there with him, and we always got a great reception. So I was back at the Paradiso, which is maybe my favorite venue to play in the world on a kind of larger scale. And I personally have played there under my name at least 35 times with one project or another since about 1988. And it was a thrill to be back there supporting my friend Pascal Plantinga, one of my oldest friends in the Netherlands and a fan. We go way back, and there's a video I just posted with lyrics last night that Pascal directed, produced, edited. It was a real guerrilla operation for a song of mine called Vampire Circus, so I direct you to that. If you scroll down the timeline, I'm sure you'll find it. And we put it up on YouTube and social media as well. I think it's all up on Instagram. Anyway, it's a great time every time I go there, and this was no exception. I love playing in Amsterdam, and I also played at a great art gallery called the Sack Gallery in Maastricht in southern Holland, which is where I've been hanging out more and more over the years. I kind of switched my pace of operation from north to south. While there, I had a wonderful reunion with my old friend, the famous director and photographer Anton Corbijn. I've known Anton since forever, since working with Captain Beefheart, and if you check out a book of his called Star Trek, which has Clint Eastwood on the cover with a stogie between his lips, very, very good book of Anton's photography in a certain period. I have a page in that book that became the cover of my Gods and Monsters album, which I also refer you. Anyway, so I should just shut up and play. All right, I'm sort of semi-set up now. I'm home for a few days. I'm just sort of getting in the groove of playing again here, and I've only got merely 2 pedals, but really you don't need anything as long as you have a good guitar, a small amplifier, and your fingers. Really, I'm a believer that it's all really down kind of sometimes to the touch. Anyway, after many years of playing with multiple pedal setups and whatnot, and I got more on the way, actually, not to disappoint you, but that's another story. Okay, so let's get this party started here. Whoever is trying to call me, it sounded beautiful coming through the speakers with this fade out. This is a problem with live streaming through your iPhone. You know, if you don't have friends who are hip to that, you may just get a random call while you're trying to play for people, which I just did. But it was right in key, wasn't it? Synchronicity, perhaps. Well, okay, that was a workout in what would be called D Modal tuning. It was, I think, firstly invented by a great English guitarist named Davy Graham. And this was kind of appropriated by Jimmy Page, uncredited, but it's unmistakably Davy Graham's. And you can see a YouTube clip. I think you just have to look at She Moved Through the Fair, Davy Graham live someplace, maybe it was the BBC or something in the early 60s. But he kind of pioneered this sort of Indo-European guitar tuning, otherwise known as DADGAD, as a shorthand acronym. And it's basically guitar tuned just as it sounds, but I won't elaborate here. Anyway, I don't want to take too many of the mysteries away, but you guitarists know what I'm talking about. Anyway, there are guitarists out there, foremost among them Pierre Bensoussan, great French guitarist who made a career in doing nothing but playing compositions in this tuning. I like to use it, and I opened with this piece I wrote with Jeff Buckley for a concert at St. Anne's Church on Friday the 13th, March 1992. A recording exists of it. There's not a lot of evidence that was documented. I had work tapes also. And then we did it again a week later at another club here, the Knitting Factory. And this went out live on my old friend Nick Hill's radio show, Live from the Music Faucet. But that's a song called No One Must Find You Here, which I regard, of the dozen or so songs I wrote with Jeff Buckley, as about maybe, if not the best, certainly right up there with Grace and Mojo Pin. It's quite epic. Now, I've given it to my partner and collaborator, Demi Mondaine, who's a great French singer based in Paris, who's really had a great career. I've worked with her in the past in Paris and New York, going back, I don't know, 10 years at least, on and off. And we're going to have a reunion on Friday, December 6th at the Sunset Jazz Club in Les Halles in Paris, which is a great, typical French jazz club in Paris, in the cellar of a little building in this region. It's kind of a semi-touristic area where you can walk around. There's another club across the way called Les Ducs de Lombard. It's on Rue de Lombard. Anyway, I think it's number 80 or 60, so you can look it up. Sunside Jazz Club, Sunside. Sunside would be the upstairs. I played them both. I prefer the downstairs, so that's where we're going to be. And we're doing a tribute, Demi Mondaine and myself, to the great late Jeff Buckley, and primarily doing the anthems that are known as like co-writes, and that would be Mojo Pin and Grace as the standout tracks, but also She Is Free, Hallelujah, we'll do a version of that. a couple of Demi Mondaine's own songs. She's a prolific recording artist, and she's recorded with Iggy Pop, among other people. And she's currently also a model for Jean-Paul Gaultier. She's quite stunning live to see sing on stage. There's nobody quite like her. And you can hear a clip. I've also posted this a few times from, again, about 10 years ago in a club called La Feline. La Feline, the cat, Feline, which was kind of a punk rockabilly club, and we're doing Mojo Pin. So you can hear her very, very unusual delivery. And she has great stage presence. So if you're going to be around Paris, I urge you to come to the show. Friday, December 6th. That's my next show on the calendar. And then let's see, I'm going to be playing with the newly reformed Gods and Monsters. I'm very, very excited about this new lineup featuring a great drummer, an old-time friend of mine, longtime friend of mine, who has played with a lot of people, including James Blood Ulmer. That's where I first met him and toured with him. And the Lounge Lizard, and that would be Calvin Weston, who's like a force of nature, like a nebula exploding in your face on drums. And my longtime stalwart Ernie Brooks from the Modern Lovers and Arthur Russell and a bunch of other ensembles on bass. Ernie is rock solid, steady bass player. Always a pleasure to play with. And Calvin and I are going to be shooting off in all directions with pyrotechnical fireworks on drums and guitar. And I love playing with these guys. So we're doing a warm-up gig in Woodstock, the Colony at Woodstock, on Sunday, December 22nd. A special pre-Christmas gig, and then the official debut launch is going to be at City Winery, in the loft at City Winery, over not far from where I live, actually, up on 15th Street on the west side, right overlooking the Hudson River. A spectacular view, and that will take place Monday, January 6th. Then I'm upstate, back at this great venue in Spencertown up in the upper Hudson Valley called the Spencertown Academy Arts Center with my friend Dusty Wright. And there's a lot of new gigs on the calendar. I go to GaryLucas.com. I got a few on the West Coast, which is something unusual for me, as I mainly concentrated my career mainly playing in Europe and elsewhere, but not too much in the U.S. But there's a gig in Mill Valley at the Sweetwater Music Hall in March, and also one up in Seattle, a city I have to admit shamefacedly I've never played or probably even visited before. Go figure, all these years. But so I'm very excited about going into this new year. But yeah, so far so good. It's been a lot of fun. So thank you for tuning in to this Saturday afternoon live stream. I love playing for you guys. And in the words of the immortal Arnold, I'll be back. Thanks again, guys.